And it's also been revealed, and we're now learning how Paris has routinely and for a decade now ceded control of many Parisian neighborhoods to Muslims who are Islamists and want to rule a neighborhood, if you will, under Sharia law. This has been an ongoing process for apparently quite a few years in Paris.
More than a few years. We've been writing about this for many years now. In France, there's what are called sensitive urban zones, and these are high crime, mostly immigrant areas where they're very hostile to the police. And yes, it breeds Islamic radicalism. That's a great environment for them. But there's also what you could call the Ferguson effect, which is where when law enforcement goes in and they have to arrest or even shoot someone, then the local population views them essentially as foreign occupiers, as oppressors, and then they riot. So these are unstable areas where territory is essentially being ceded to foreigners, and it's a problem that goes beyond just the threat of radical Islam. When police cannot go into an area and enforce the law because the locals attack them, that is a threat to the national survival of the country.
Ryan Mauro is with us from the Clarion Project, clarionproject.org. Ryan, I've gotten a number of emails and calls from listeners in parts of the country like Minnesota, where there are heavily populated Muslim communities who openly wonder, could what happened in Paris with this ceding control of neighborhoods and all that happen here in the United States? Well, Ryan, when we have Democrats in control of the government who seem to refuse to call Muslim terrorists, it doesn't seem to be a question of if, it seems to be when, right?
Right, because these type of attacks are relatively easy to carry out, and honestly, the only reason that we haven't seen this happening on a regular basis is because of a miracle since 9/11. It statistically does not make sense from the threat as I see it for this not to be happening regularly. We've gotten very lucky, but sometimes our luck runs out, and that's what you're seeing right now. As for the issue of ceding territory, there's one group called Jamaat al-Fuqra based in Pakistan that has a front group in the United States that actually owns compounds in America, privately owned compounds, where they engage in guerrilla warfare training, they teach hatred of Jews. So what you're seeing in France with this issue of territory being taken over by Islamist radicals is happening here in the United States. We've done a lot of research on it.